Hi, my name is polinagazeeva and I'm an artist living and working in Berlin. And this video bitch is going to be hard to edit because my thoughts are all over the place and I do not have a plan of what exactly this video is going to be about, but stick with me. Usually they come out pretty well in the end. Because a lot of things have happened in the last month, art-wise, nothing has happened art-wise, but I had a lot of thoughts on art in the past month that I would like to express and I would like to share and kind of for myself sort them out. So this is what I'm gonna be doing in this video. This is what I'm gonna be trying to do in this video. And while I'm doing that, you can watch the process of me working on my latest oil painting portrait, which I do not like, and I will explain later why I do not like it. Hey guys, here you go, watch a shitty video of me painting a shitty portrait. That's gonna be fun. I'm sure people will like it. I'll get to it. Don't rush me. My god, calm your tits. Anyway, so as I said, I'm an artist who is based in Berlin, but because of certain life circumstances, and to be more specifically because I'm doing my driving license, I had to move back to my, I wanted to say hometown, but this is not my hometown. I had to move back to the city where I spent 7 years of my life so I can finish my driving license here. It's a different city in Germany. So that's what I'm doing, and because of that, obviously I couldn't be at home. I couldn't be painting the way I usually paint. I was living with my parents, and still kind of am living with my parents. I'm currently at my partner's parents' house. It's complicated, but anyway. And because of all of that, something has happened. I feel like whenever I resolve something for myself, whenever I resolve like an emotional issue for myself, or whenever I voice something like a statement that I believe to be true for myself, something comes into my life to test it. And to be like, are you sure you've actually figured it out? And then I'm like, I guess it's not as easy. So in one of my previous videos I talked about how trust in your art is the most crucial thing when being an artist, because you have to believe, as cheesy as it sounds, you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe in what you're doing, and most importantly you just have to feel good about what you're doing. You have to appreciate the process of making art. You have to appreciate the art that is not perfect. You just gotta love yourself, and oh my god, you gotta love yourself. You have to love what you make, because only if you truly love what you make, regardless of how good and bad it is, can you actually withstand all of the outside influence on you and withstand like the criticism and the outside circumstances, which you encounter a lot as an artist. Most of artists do. And you have to have a really strong sense of self in order to be an artist, or at least sense of your art. Like, you kind of have to know you're going your own way and you're going your own path to actually be able to walk that path. Otherwise there'll constantly be things that like push you one way and another and influence you and affect you, and it's just not a pleasant process. And that has been true for me for years. I mean, obviously there was always a moment or two when I was like, I'm a bit unsure, but overall it was very constant and a very steady force in my life. And when I moved here to do my driving license, when I left home, something clicked and I feel like I went insane a little bit. Like, I feel like I lost all of my ground underneath my feet, and I don't know exactly what happened, and I was so confused by just the mere fact of it happening, that I was so distressed about kind of nothing, but also everything for me, because I'm an artist and my art is probably the biggest part of me and who I am and what I do and just my world. And then when that part of me got shaken up, and suddenly I felt like I don't understand anything that's happening, I was like, not okay. It didn't last very long, as most things with me, like a week or two. But that was a ride, and that was weird, and I'm so glad to be out of it, and I'm so glad to have figured it out. But yeah, it all started, I think, with me deciding, hey, I'm going to be painting portraits now, even though I haven't done it in years, and I've only been painting bodies. And I believe I'm really good at painting bodies, and I generally believe myself to be a really good artist. But I was like, I never do portraits. I'm kind of curious now how it would be if I start making portraits. And I think I kind of approached it in the wrong way, or in the way that's not true to myself, and just led myself to a path of like complete confusion and fear even. Sounds very intense when we're talking about art, something that doesn't even have, like, no one else cares. Only I care. But I was like, not okay. So I started making portraits, and I kind of enjoyed them, and I was making like little ones, and then I decided to make an oil portrait. And that's when things have gotten really wrong, I think. Because I started painting that portrait, and at first I was going for some kind of realistic image, realistic portrait. But then halfway through, when it kind of started getting a little bit realistic, I realized, okay, I actually don't care about making something that's accurate. I want to make something that's me, something that's interesting, something out of it. Because if I just end up painting like a perfect portrait, even if it was perfect, which obviously I couldn't have done because I don't have the practice, but even if I could, I would still not be happy with it. Like, I would have been pretty upset because I would feel like it's empty to me. So that led to me repainting the whole thing multiple times, trying different colors, trying different things, and I kept on being very unsure. Like, it kept on not feeling right, and I kept on just being confused. And I had so many thoughts going on through my head the whole process. And I was also sick, and I was also not at home, and I was living with my parents, and like everything it was just piling up, and I was just freaking out about it. I don't know, it was really weird. And I finished the portrait. I was not 100% happy with it, but I also knew there's nothing I can do actually right now to fix it. So I had to finish a work without actually feeling good about it, which usually is not something that I do. It's not something I need to do ever. But with this thing, I knew I just have to let it be and just leave it and kind of accept it. So yeah, the thoughts that were going through my head are, I don't understand what I'm doing. I don't understand the art that I'm making. What am I making this like portraits for? They don't make any sense to me. I don't know what I'm going for. I can't figure out where I want to be with this. I was very dramatic about it. Like, I felt very dramatic about it, and there was a part of me that enjoyed it because I felt so intensely about my art. Like, I enjoyed feeling intensely and being like eating dinner and still thinking about my painting. But I did not enjoy the unsureness and the self-doubt and the self-criticism that was involved. I don't think you need the self-criticism to be a good artist, and it does nothing but distress you, which is stupid. I don't want to be distressed no matter what I do. Everything about my art was driving me insane because I just got into this loop of negative thoughts all over me. And everything about my art disgusted me, and everything about my art confused me, because I don't know, everything I make looks so different. Like, if someone came up to me and was like, hey, we want to exhibit your works, give us your paintings, I thought I cannot actually do it because I don't have anything good to show, and everything that I have is too different from each other, and it all has to be the same, and it all has to look the same, and has to have the same like feeling, because then otherwise they don't belong together. And now that I'm thinking about it with a clear head, that is not true. First of all, I have a lot of good art that I can show. I have a shit ton of art. Second of all, it does belong together, like it does work together, most of it. Third of all, they don't have to all work together. Like, a lot of known artists made a lot of different things, actually, that had different colors, that were made in different things, and no one has a problem with that. So why should I have a problem with what I make? It's as simple as that. But anyway, I wish I've recorded the videos back when I was actually doing, or like going through that. It's a bit hard to get back into that mind space because I frankly don't remember everything. Like, it feels like I blacked out a little bit. And I don't remember my thoughts very specifically. And I cannot recall the exact emotions. So I'm not sure I can truly portray just how intense it was and how unpleasant it was and how stupid it was. But I couldn't because I was sick, and I just couldn't record. Like, I already did the hard work of filming the process video. Well, anyway, now how I got out of it, or what happened. And to be fair, usually I feel like I don't get out of anything on purpose. I think it kind of happens, and the way it usually happens, the way it seems to happen a lot with me, and usually the easiest way for me to deal with anything that's not necessarily art related, just anything life related, where I'm really stressing about something, is to be like, okay, so what? Just accept the worst scenario that you can think of that's stressing you out, and let go of it. So what it meant for me is, at some point I was so stressed out that my art is bad. Like, my art is bad, I suck. I don't have any good paintings. And to me it's a big deal because I always identified myself as an artist, and to do that I needed to feel like I'm actually good at art and my art is actually good. So when that falls apart, it feels like I fall apart. Like a big part, like a huge chunk of my identity falls apart. So I was like, okay, well, what if I do suck? What if I'm not a genius? What if I'm not the best artist you can think of? What if I will take a year to figure out my art, 2 years, 3 years? What if I never figure out my art? Like, okay, I will make just bad art. And I had to sit with that feeling for a while, with that thought for a while. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I guess it's not so bad. I guess it's actually fine, and I will survive, and I will be okay, even if my art sucks. And I kind of just let go of it. And when I let go of it, very quickly, I felt absolutely fine. And very quickly, a realization struck me. And that realization was so simple. I realized that the reason I don't like my portraits is not because I'm bad or my art is bad, but because with the portraits, for some reason, I felt like I have to create a new style for myself. So it wasn't, oh, I'm gonna practice realistic portraits and I'm just gonna get good at realistic portraits, because I did not have the urge to actually be good at realistic portraits. I wanted to make like paintings that involved portraits, like full-on evolved works. But I also at the same time felt like I couldn't use what I already am, and I somehow have to come up with something new, with a new style almost, with a new concept of making portraits. Wait, I'll try to explain it more. Basically the way, because I started thinking about, okay, how did I get so good at painting bodies? And then I remembered where I started and how I just started by I just drew bodies. Like I just started drawing bodies and painting bodies, and just with time it has gotten better. And I enjoyed every bit of it. I enjoyed every bit of the process, and I didn't focus on actually creating anything specific. I was just doing my thing. And it eventually evolved into something that is unique, I would say. And here I thought, because I'm already so far, like I'm already so good at art, I have to be able like this to come up with something new. But the problem is not even that. The problem is like, why did I have the feeling that like, I have to come up with something new in the first place? Why? I was looking at other people's portraits. I was looking at how other people do it. And I was just trying in my head to come up with like a new style of what I want to be doing, instead of actually just looking at what I do and what feels right to me and seeing where that leads me. I was just focused on a specific result that wasn't even specific. Like I still couldn't actually explain what I wanted the portraits to look like. I just knew it wasn't anything of what I was actually making. So simply said, it just clicked for me that actually what I need to be doing, or could be doing, is, yeah, I can draw portraits, but what if I draw portraits the same way I draw bodies? And don't try to like invent a wheel, but actually do it in the way that I do the rest of my art. What then? And guess what? The first two like small sketches I did, I loved them. They came out really, really nice. I thought they were amazing. Because I actually approached them from the same way I would approach any other drawing. And I didn't try to make them look like something specific. I did not try to do something new with them. And it was so simple. It blew my mind that I was so blind to it, that I was trying to impose something on myself for no reason whatsoever. And that, of course, everything in me was resisting it, and everything in me was stressing out, because suddenly I was not just letting myself be with my art. Suddenly I had like weird expectations that were just useless and did nothing but made me feel like me, the way I am right now, is not good enough and something needs to be fixed. And of course everything in me resisted that and was like fighting, and making art suddenly became very stressful and stupid and upsetting. I hope I was able to kind of explain it. It's a bit messy, I know. My thoughts are still a little bit messy about it. But basically, to conclude, you have to make things in the way that is true to yourself, and eventually they will evolve somewhere. And you shouldn't feel like you need to control it. I mean, you can if that's what you prefer, but also, from my experience, it's so much more fun and just pleasant when you actually let it be, and you let yourself be, and you just let things be the way they are. And you just let things grow, and you just watch it, instead of trying to manipulate it in a weird way and involve your mind way too much and stress yourself for no reason.
Иди ко мне. Иди ко... Ай, красавец.
And so what I started doing, because I'm still at home and I cannot work on the paintings the way I would love to work on my paintings, because usually also I don't paint like small things. It just does not work for me, no matter the subject. I usually paint big paintings, like at least 1.5 meters tall, at least. So while I cannot do that, what I decided to do, and what felt amazing, honestly, I started sketching again. I started working in my sketchbook. I got this amazing, beautiful sketchbook from my friend who brought it from Japan. And it's like you'll see. And I love it. I gave myself permission, as stupid as it sounds, to actually just have a sketchbook that's filled with stuff that's not necessarily amazing or just filled with random stuff. And I let myself spend time on things that will not become something bigger, because, for example, usually I always felt, okay, if I work on a drawing, it has to be good enough so I can put it in a frame and put it on a wall or give it to someone or sell it to someone. The same with the painting. Also has to be a good painting. It can never be a practice painting because I spend time doing it and time is limited. But also, actually, time is not limited. And there is no such thing as productive or not productive art. And working in my sketchbook and actually giving myself the freedom and the time to just draw whatever, first and most important, just feels really good. So now I have a sketchbook that's filled with fun little drawings, some made from real life, some from photos, and I'm just really enjoying it. And it's nice to, I don't know, it's just really nice. That's it, that's mostly it. It's just really, really nice. And I haven't done it in such a long time. I haven't had a sketchbook, like a real sketchbook where I just sketch, in forever. Like, I don't know, since I was, 17, maybe 18? I don't know. And it's just so good. It's just really good. You should try it. It's really nice. I think I'm gonna end it here because I've said quite a lot. And I don't know if anyone will like this video because I feel like it's very messy. Let me know if you understood me, please. Let me know if you feel similar or if you have some other thoughts on this subject. And I will talk to you hopefully next time from Berlin, when I'm actually working on something big, because I really want to be. But it's also okay that I'm not. I mean, you don't always have to be making like huge pieces. It's okay to also make nothing. That's something else I have to work on, that it's okay to not make any art. We'll get there, I'm sure. Okay, I'm just gonna go.